Proverbs, the 22nd chapter. I like it on technology. Proverbs, 22nd chapter. This is a relatively quick scripture reading, as Devin suggested. I do it myself. We're all about efficiency here. And it says in verse 6, train up a child in the way he should go, even when he is old, he will not depart from it. There it is. So good morning. Oh, great. Well, while this is doing its thing, y'all know me by now. You know that I usually talk about things that I know, because I'm not real good at talking about things that I don't know. But I'm thankful for the group that we have here, because the things I generally talk about are things that I experienced, or I am dealing with, or I'm learning, or whatever. And so, Big Daddy K, that's me. So, I generally talk about things that affect me somehow. And somehow or another, my lessons always kind of end up talking about just life in general. But that's where I'm at. But I'm thankful for this group, because we have guys here that can preach about deeper topics. We have guys that can talk about that can bring factual lessons. I'm a fan of every time Devin gets up to speak, because I know there's no doubt when I get up from that chair, I've walked away learning something that I didn't know before I sat down. And so I'm thankful for all that. I'm thankful for all the talents that everyone here brings. Because ultimately, that's really what life is all about. It's a learning process. Everyone in here, everyone we see, everyone that we come in contact with, teaches us something. One day I'll learn how to operate a computer properly. I know. I'm impatient. So, like I said, it's an ongoing process. Everything that we see, everything that we touch, everything that we hear, everybody we come in contact with teaches us something. And that's a daily thing. And so this lesson was actually just an extension of that. This could very well be a series, right? I told Ty this last night. She kind of got worried. This very well could be a series, but I'm just going to stop it at one, because there's really no end. There's no limit to this. But I learned so much from my family, from my wife, from my daughter. But today's lesson is going to be about lessons that I've learned from Cole. That's my boy right there. Knocked out. It's funny that I never in a million years would have thought my biggest teacher in life would be my own son. And he's only 4. And you're thinking, well, what does he know? But what's not to love, right? How can you not learn to not take yourself too seriously? I love that picture. I love that picture. But Cole says things often that just blow my mind. We were in here yesterday. Kim actually heard this. I'm setting up the projector, and so Cole says, "Dave, what are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm setting up the projector." "Why?" "Well, because we use it for church, Well, and so what are you doing? I said, "I'm running wires to make it work." "How?" I'm like, "What do you mean how? How does it work?" I don't really know. I know we plug it in and it works. I can't really explain it. But he asks me questions like that all the time that make me stop and think, well, how does that work? Never even considered it. I've never considered how this whole thing really works. I just know that you plug it in and it works. I never wondered how. Who thinks of that? He does. But he asks me stuff like that all the time. And he'll ask questions or he'll say something that sometimes are so poignant. And he has no idea really what he's saying. That you can't help but take a long look at yourself. So today's lesson was kind of structured around some of the questions that he's asked me that have made me look at myself. Figure out who it is that I am and who it is that I'm trying to become or that I'm becoming. And again, the idea, when Kelly and I found out we were pregnant the second time, not that we were pregnant, she was pregnant. I had very little involvement. But we were excited. We knew that we had Kaya and we loved her and we were excited about what the possibilities were going to bring. And man, we were hoping for another girl because at that time of my life, nobody loved me like this one did. I could come in the door, didn't matter what kind of day I've had. It could have been the worst day possible, and I could walk in and she'd throw those little arms around my neck and I would just melt. Everything was all right. I said, you know what, I want another one of those. And we found out we were having a boy. I'm telling the truth here. Me and Kelly both were kind of like, what do I do with a boy? I don't know how to do this. And then I got scared because I'm like, I'm kind of on the spot here. I've got to teach this boy to be a man, and I'm not even real sure how to be a man myself. I'm still figuring that out. How am I going to teach this boy to be good? How am I going to teach him to be what I'm still trying to figure out myself? And I got scared. I got nervous. I prayed a lot. And oddly enough, he's become my biggest teacher. Which I think means that we're doing the right with him. That we're teaching him the right things. And that's what this first scripture was about, because he asked me one time, he says, we were talking about something, I don't even remember what it was, and we were talking about superheroes. And he said, how do you know that? I said, well, I just know. He goes, well, tell me. I'm going to tell you what. You tell me everything. I was like, son, I don't know everything. Well, tell me what you know. And that question stumped me because I was like, you have no idea how big that is. Tell me what you know. Well, where do you start? How do I start to tell him what I know? How do I start to tell him all the things that I want him to know? But here he is asking for it. Tell me. Give it to me. I'm a sponge. Let me soak it in. And so Proverbs 22:6, train up a child in the way that he should go, and even when he's old, will not depart from it. And we kind of glaze over that, and we think that means, well, if I train up a child in the way that he should go, when he's old, he won't depart. And I think, well, sometimes we think that means is that if he does depart, he'll come back.